Today is a big day because the Cayman S is going to Porsche. But if I took it to them as it is now, they'd be far from impressed. I was the only person to bid on this Porsche Cayman S at auction, making it the cheapest Cayman S in the whole world. And it's not hard to see why. Absolutely no idea what's caused this or how it's got in this condition. Would you have taken the same risk, or did I completely lose the plot? But nevertheless, I started work on the Porsche, rebuilding it panel by panel. Even the roof came off. I had to learn a lot myself, as Porsche couldn't tell us how to do the structural repairs.
It is a structural repair, so unfortunately they wouldn't be able to give you any information on it.
But I pulled through, and as well as rebuilding it, I also installed a GT4 body kit to it and repainted the full car in signal yellow. But I haven't been able to enjoy it or even drive it because there's a few strange faults with it. And I'm hoping to fix all of these faults before we take it to Porsche, else I'm gonna get a really bad roasting. Check this out, go on, put the wipers on to clear the lights, and you've got absolutely nothing, but you can hear the motor going through it. And we also have a wiper fault on the dashboard. And this is the exact reason why you don't put your wipers on when it's frosty outside, because I think this is what's caused it. Right here I can see the wiper motor attached to the linkage, and the motor engages using teeth. Now I put the wipers on when the screen was frosted, and I can only assume I've snapped some of the teeth inside the motor, but I can only be 100% sure that that's the issue by taking it apart and having a look. Luckily on the Porsche it's not that hard to get to. There's 3 bolts holding in the linkage and 1 electrical connector on the wiper motor. And with the full mechanism off, I'm going to take a look inside. And to my surprise, the motor's actually plastic. I can only open it up this much, but I can see a few snap teeth in there. So it looks like I'm gonna need a new one, which I've got. From a breaker's yard, I've managed to get a wiper motor with all the linkage for 30 quid. I'm just hoping it's the right one, because this is off a box stuff. It looks the same, but ish. Check the part number. 021941.
Yep.
022035.
Oh, it was close then.
But look though, look. It looks exactly the same.
Yeah, just smash it in.
I think let's just get it in.
Get it in.
Let's get it in. So the part numbers are different, but in this case, I don't think it's gonna matter. They look exactly the same. Time for the test.
Yeah, it is gonna work.
Yes! Check it out.
Oh yeah.
Fixed!
Wide.
Please work. Oh, it's sensational stuff. One job fix, on to the next one. So the next fault is here. Engine control fault, consult dealer, driving permitted. And that is the engine management light here. To find out what's causing the light, I'm gonna need the diagnostic tool. Put that into the OBD. I'm going to use the Autel to diagnose what's wrong with the car.
Trouble codes.
And hopefully it's not too sinister. The reason why that engine light on is oxygen sensor 1 heater control circuit. I believe oxygen sensor, O2 sensor, or lambda sensor, or lambda sensor, or however you say it, that is what's causing that. So we better get that changed now. To do so, we're going to need a ramp, and the M5's in one ramp, the Murcielago's in another ramp, and the Porsche's in a scissor lift, which isn't going to lift it high enough. There's definitely worse problems to have though. So we have to do a massive shout out to Mallory Performance for letting us use their ramp on such short notice. And we could get the Porsche in the air to inspect what's going on with this lambda sensor. Now you usually see 2 lambda sensors on cars. One would be before the catalytic converter in the exhaust, and one would be after the catalytic converter. The exhaust gases pass through these sensors, and then they send a signal to the ECU to tell the car how well it's burning fuel. Then the ECU will be able to adjust the air-fuel ratio to ensure we get the perfect burn. But with a faulty lambda sensor, there's no way the car can find that out. Well, we've found the issue, and this one's a cheap one because we've just had a look. So this lambda goes up here, there's a blue wire, and it connects up to the connector up there. This one, we're just following the connector. It goes up over the exhaust down there. It comes up, ends up coming around here, and look what we've just found.
Oh, hello there.
Hello. Oh, it's not even connected, but the
What's
connector
this?
is broken, isn't it?
Yeah, you may as well put the new one on.
So it's just, I bet the accident has just pulled the plug out. Okay, the plug under here is in and it's sealed up and it's nice. If that works, it works and it's saved. This lambda sensor here was £120, so 120 quid. If that works, it's 120 quid saving just because it's unplugged. Good job, we'll find out. Clear codes. Hey! It's looking good. No engine management lights. There's just one more light. And that is this airbag light on the dashboard here. And when we scan it with a diagnostic tool, we can see that this is caused by the passenger seatbelt tensioner. Sometimes when the airbags blow in cars, the seatbelts lock out. But on this car, only the passenger side seatbelt locked out. But I already sent both seatbelts off to have the tensioners, new tensioners put in, and also had the belt changed colour as well on both sides, but yet still I'm getting a fault on this passenger side. Now I've messaged the company that installed the new tensioners to say I'm still getting a fault, but they say that can't be true because they've installed the new tensioners and everything was done right. It's got to be something to do with the wiring, but the only way for me to test that is to take the one out the left hand side and put it in the right hand side and see if the fault switches over between the seatbelts. So I guess we're going to try that now. The tensioners are installed in seatbelts, so when the airbags blow in the car, it pulls the passenger or driver back into the seat to ensure the airbag does the job to its full potential. Your face doesn't want to be next to the airbag when that's blowing off. Now after this happens, the seatbelts normally remain locked out, and the only way to fix that issue is to replace the tensioner or just replace the full seatbelt, which I thought I'd done. This is the right seatbelt, this is the left seatbelt. There is literally no difference, and the tensioner is this little section here. The airbag plugs into that, sends a signal down here, which locks the seatbelt out in this mechanism. And to be honest, they do look like they've been replaced, but that doesn't mean to say that it's faulty. It could be faulty, but you'd think the company would test it before they send it back. But we're about to find out because I'm going to plug this in the left-hand side and this one in the right-hand side to see if we get a fault. Driver belt tensioner below lower limit. Yeah.
So they were wrong.
It looks like there's a fault with the tensioner. I've got to send that one back, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to send that back and get it back before tomorrow when we go to Porsche. So we're going to have an airbag light on at Porsche, but we can explain that it's not our fault. So we've managed to fix most faults, but there's some faults that neither me or Porsche can fix, and that is the history of the car. Now if I go into Car Vertical and pop the registration in of the Cayman S, you are always going to find this report. Car Vertical works in over 20 different countries, and it's the perfect tool to finding out your car's history. Now on the Cayman S, I can see that there's a green light at the top for no mileage fraud, a green light to show it's never been recorded as stolen, a green light to show there's no outstanding finance, but an amber light to show it's been in an accident. When I scroll through the report, I can see every time it's had a registration plate changed, and all the MOT and service checks. Right here is the mileage graph, and all the mileage all lines up. But this is the part we can never delete. We can see here the Porsche got written off as a category N in February 2022. And we all know why. Not only that, on some checks, like this one I've done on an Audi RS3, if the car was damaged, you can see the photos of where it was auctioned off at the car crash auction website. And on this Audi RS3 as well, I can see photos of it afterwards as well when it was repaired and then put up for sale again. So to check your car, a friend's car, or a car that you're potentially about to buy, click the link in the description box below, use Car Vertical, and on the checkout, make sure you put in code MATT. That's going to give you a discount, and hopefully I'm going to save you a bit of money on a car that you might have thought was good, but potentially is a lemon. And before you know it, we arrived at Porsche Solihull. I've come to Porsche to get the four-wheel alignment done, as I've had all the suspension off. And because we've had all the radiators off, I'm going to need the aircon gas in as well. Here we go. The only experience I've had with Porsche dealers is over the phone, so it's going to be really interesting to find out what it's like at a main dealer. But so far so good. But there was a weird tension in the air as I knew my car was about to be torn apart.
So today we've got the 718 Cayman in. We've got it for the outstanding recall on there. We've also got the visual health check, the aircon regas, and also the geometry check as well.
Yeah.
And what I'll also do, I'll just go and grab the technician that's working on your car today.
Okay.
His name's Josh, and I'm sure he'll look after you.
If anything's free, then I'm there for it. And Porsche offer a free vehicle inspection, so it'd be wrong not to take advantage of that.
Nice to me.
Be nice to my car.
As always.
Yeah.
I'm sure we absolutely.
What's
fine.
the outstanding recall?
So there is a recall on there just for the air intake grills on there. So yeah, like just on the wings.
Why is there a recall on that one?
So the vents were slightly too big, which can allow leaves and debris to go in there.
Right.
So they modified the grills to slightly smaller, similar form.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Right.
sucked up then.
A few papers left to sign, and then I can hand the Cayman S key over to the technician. Kind of a nerve-wracking moment for me to have someone from Porsche check over the car. Right, so this is it now. It's time to be absolutely roasted. And now, the moment of truth. The Cayman S has been brought into the inspection area. But how good does it look in there? So this is actually pretty cool. This is like an inspection bay which customers are allowed to go in, and the technician as well. The cool thing about this is that I actually get to see and hear Josh tear apart the Porsche. Well, hopefully not, but we already know there's a few things that we couldn't quite do last night.
Notice the service light's on.
Oh, okay.
Also notice there's an airbag light on.
Yes, that's not my fault.
There's a non-genuine windscreen fitted.
And that wasn't cheap either, still. That's like 500 and something pounds. We're only a couple seconds in and Josh is already tearing apart my car. But I guess they have to be really anal with
So
it.
is there an aftermarket exhaust fitted to the vehicle?
There is, yeah.
It does sound very good.
Yeah.
It was quite loud, started up.
Yeah.
I've heard some that sound very loud, but I think that sounds quite good.
There we go. Approval from Porsche on one thing. Everything checked on the interior. Now it's time for the exterior.
Carbon fibre inserts around the front as well.
Yeah.
Which actually look really nice. I mean, the pedal gaps don't look too bad, to be fair. They look okay. We have got measurements that Porsche give us based on each car, which would be able to go around and measure.
Oh, okay. Okay. So they have like tolerances between each.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool.
So we can measure those as well, but it's whether you want to go that in depth with it.
Yeah.
Panel gaps are looking okay. There's a bit of a bigger gap at the back of the roof there.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, I watched the videos on this car, so I have seen.
You've seen everything that's been.
From when you brought the car to how it is, that it looks very good.
Oh, that's good
very
news.
good.
That's good news. About the roof, you guys wouldn't tell us how it was joined here. So we've kind of gone with like a Sikaflex here to try and make it look OEM.
Yeah. Which you do it because you normally have that little channel that runs down at the edge. So
yeah.
where the pillars come up, there is normally, if you look at the 718s, there is normally
like a small
brick.
channel.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
we've got it right
Yeah.
to an extent.
And I mean, that's always a telltale sign if it's been aligned properly, because the fuel flap will catch.
Oh, okay.
So underneath, if the panel's not quite right,
Yeah.
they tend to gap, but the gap on that looks okay. They are a little bit tighter on the bottom. Oh. It's just no,
Close,
all good
almost.
so far.
So far, we're not doing so bad. So there was a few small things, as expected, that was picked out by Josh, including the missing tow eye cover. Now he's inspecting under the bonnet to check all the tyre inflators, and the toolkit is complete that comes with the Porsche. And that's all looking good. Then he's going to check all the fluid levels. Now it's virtually impossible for Porsche to check every single component of my car to give it a full sign off as such. So this is far from that. But Josh can give it a pretty good inspection to make sure the car is safe for the road and will drive as it should. And right now he's checking all the brakes and the suspension.
So yep, they're on 12mm, so I'm guessing they're fairly new.
Yeah, the fronts are definitely new.
Tyres in good condition. They're all the correct size and rating as well, which is good.
Well done, Wheelmania. Now the car goes in the air to inspect underneath it. all the safety. I do this in my workshop, definitely.
Brilliant. That's what we like to do. So, we can see there's a little bit of damage underneath the trays.
Yeah.
At least you've got the emergency release if you need it. So that's just right there.
Where is that meant to go? What I'm holding onto here looks like a brake cable off a bike. And if you pull it, it opens the bonnet. And you use that if the battery's flat and the button doesn't work. But I had absolutely no idea where that was supposed to go.
So it's under the headlight on the right hand side.
Right, I did not know where that was meant to go, but
I mean,
it's there.
If the front latch fails, at least that's a good place to...
That's what I thought, reach under and figure it fall.
Look, you can see this support frame is bent as well.
Yeah, I remember that was so close to the gearbox sump.
Now, these support struts here, they strengthen the bottom of the car.
Right.
So because this is connected to these as well, if you needed to wheel align it, it may not go into line.
Right.
Because these are the strengthening plates for it.
Ah, I see. So it's not just an under tray, this one. Right.
Because if you ever remove these struts or this plate, it has to be wheel aligned again.
Oh my god.
Because there may be a slight bit of flex in the chassis.
Yeah,
and then you have to wheel align it all again.
I see. So I'm learning quite a lot already, and another thing that Josh pointed out is that there's a vacuum line which was connected to the old exhaust flaps when they open and close in different modes. Now because I've now got a straight through pipe, I've just plugged the vacuum line with a bolt, as I knew it'd probably cause issues if I just left it hanging, but I didn't realise how big the issues could have been. So this is what the opens and closes the valves on the old exhaust when you're in sport mode, sport plus mode, so we've just plugged it.
It's plugged, as long as there's no leaks. Vacuum system should be
right. I see. I didn't realise it was that vital.
Yeah. If that screw was to pop out, you'd probably cold a bit overheat. You'd notice a few driving problems and
oh my days.
So
apparently the vacuum system is somehow linked with the water pump. So if I didn't plug the vacuum line, it literally could have caused the car to overheat, which is so crazy. I've never heard anything like that before. So overall, let's say on a scale of, let's go on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put the car?
I'll probably put it to about 7.
Not bad, not bad.
From a Porsche standard, there could be a few things that could be tweaked to make it completely standard. But if that's not what you're going for, considering how the car was,
it's pretty bad.
It's come up extremely well.
Well, that's not bad, and I'm sure we've got a few more episodes to get it to a 10. Now we've got to go get the wheel aligned and the aircon gas, so we'll see how that gets on. First thing Josh is going to do is a vacuum test on the aircon system to make sure there is no leaks. He runs this for around 20 minutes to be 100% sure. So whilst we waited for that to happen, me and Hannah had a mooch round the showroom to look at some dream spec Porsches. But Hannah seems to disagree.
They look all the same.
Right, just look at this. Okay, I know my facts.
No, the minute details, that's it.
That's what counts.
It doesn't.
That's the good thing about Porsche. It's not like a showy off brand. This is for gentlemen. Like myself. I admit I was never a Porsche person before, but the more time I spend in mine and the more I see them, the more I love them. So we're skipping the 4-wheel alignment at the minute and we're going straight onto the aircon purely because that under tray, which isn't an under tray, it's part of the actual structure which Josh pointed out, which has a dent in it. When I replace that, it will throw the wheel alignment out again. So I'm gonna have to order one of them, which was around £80 plus VAT, so not actually that bad. Then we're gonna come back and get that 4-wheel aligned. But for now, time for Josh to do the aircon.
So the aircon is now working, it held pressure, it's gassed. When we tested it, it didn't work, so it needed the compressor to be running.
Yeah.
So we've run that in. That should be done every time it's re-gassed, to be honest.
Wicked. Good news for road trips, especially to hot countries. Hopefully the weather gets better. But other than that, we're all good. Just need to get that wheel alignment done with the under tray. I've got to say, I was surprised at Porsche. Everyone was so down to earth and helpful. Sometimes someone like me walking into a main dealer, it can almost feel as like I'm not supposed to be there. But in this case, I almost felt at home. So thanks, Porsche. Well, I would say that's a successful trip, and thanks massively to Porsche Solihull. They didn't treat me too bad, if I do say so myself. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. What? No way, look at this.
That's so cool. I hope you can see that on
Oh,
camera.
what the hell?